chokehold, in which complying with the law, for example, reaching for his car registration as demanded by police, means further submitting to its coercive power, that is, being framed as an armed and therefore dangerous black man. For Castile, there is no space for compliance, no real opportunity to submit without being misrecognized as a violent threat. The officer is already holding Castile at gunpoint. By the time Castile exclaims, "I wasn't reaching for it," the gun, Officer Geronimo Yanez of the Falcon Heights Police Department has already mortally shot him. Castile's killer had undergone 20 hours of bulletproof warrior training that taught him that police who hesitate on the job could end up losing their lives, and during that stop, he quickly decides to pull the trigger. That decision aligns with an ideology of gun militarism that stipulates black men as not just suspect criminals, but dangerous gun wielders, rather than legally armed as Castile was. In the process, Castile's right to keep and bear arms is done away with, the very right that many Americans, especially American conservatives, hold dear. Nonetheless, the National Rifle Association, NRA, despite fashioning itself as a bulwark of gun rights, only timidly speaks out about the case after being pressed by some of its members. Perhaps concerned about appearing anti-police, the organization euphemistically refers to troubling reports in Minnesota. Nevertheless, as the case unfolds, some NRA members demand answers about an apparent racial double standard in defending the gun rights of Americans. The proliferation of guns disproportionately harms African Americans who are feloniously killed, injured, and traumatized by them at rates that exceed many-fold those of other racial groups in the United States. Is it just a cruel irony of American gun law that, as African Americans turn to the very thing, the gun, that many in American society celebrate as the ultimate protection against violence and the ultimate indicator of full citizenship, they are more likely to be punitively harassed by the state? Police stops, arrests, jail time, prison time, probation, and even death on account of it. A year later, Castile's killer is acquitted of all major charges. On the political right, some, such as the National Review, bemoaned the verdict as a miscarriage of justice. Some police chiefs told me that they were deeply troubled by the facts of the case and its outcome. Ultimately, though, it was the political left that defended Castile most loudly. By the time of his death, the Black Lives Matter movement had already become a major political force to spur public debate regarding the undue and unjust killings of people of color. Though the movement began in the aftermath of the acquittal of the private civilian George Zimmerman in the killing of Trayvon Martin, it soon became focused on the issue of police killings of people of color. Juxtaposed with local law enforcement's initial decision to release George Zimmerman without arrest, Castile's death intimated a lethal double standard in law enforcement's treatment of armed civilians. Castile's death electrified street protests and public outcry. The Atlantic declared Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, and other armed African Americans as the Second Amendment's second-class citizens. A New York Times op-ed titled "Philando Castile and the Terror of an Ordinary Day" implicitly conceded that the gun carry was ordinary for Americans, even as black people still struggle to hold on to the ordinary. Memes proliferated that maintained that arming black people was a surefire way to enact gun control. The racial politics of guns suddenly, but only momentarily, shifted the liberal left and the conservative right to otherwise uncomfortable sides of the gun debate in the context of Castile's death. Because of the way race and gun rights intersected in this tragedy, the Castile case had the potential to create strange bedfellows and a different public discourse concerning race, guns, and policing. But ultimately, this did not and could not happen. Why not is the subject of this book. Philando Castile was not the only one who tragically died that summer week in 2016. A day before Castile was killed, 2 officers approached Alton Sterling and pinned him to the floor of a convenience store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one of the officers yelling that Sterling had a gun,